What is going on? This is Michael Hacker with the Hacker Outdoors podcast. Today I'm joined by Joey McCormick, who is at Loch Raven Reservoir in Maryland. He's given us a kind of an overview while he's on site at Loch Raven, and then afterwards giving us a recap as to what happened. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, of course, when you're dealing with your cell phone in the summer sun. It tends to overheat, so we lose him about halfway through, and we touch base with him when he arrives home where he can give us that recap. We hope you enjoy this kind of mixed function podcast, and without further ado, jump right in.
What's up,
Ladies
buddy?
and gentlemen, we have Joey McCormick reporting live from the field on this beautiful morning. We won't say what day it is because this is not going to be posted today. So, Joe, where are you, man?
I'm out fishing at the local reservoir. First time this year on Lock Raven. I haven't had the chance to get out here all year. Down south and tournaments, just haven't had the opportunity. So figured today was the best day of any. Been out here since 6 a.m.
Now, I know you said last year, right? With everything going on with the pandemic, it was a little chaotic there. Did you notice this morning that getting a boat rental was hard?
Oh no, it was nothing like last year.
Yeah.
I talked to the guys, and because I know them, and I asked them how it's been this year, and they said nothing like last year. Last year was unprecedented. This place is literally, a mile from my house, maybe, at the rental center. And last year, they don't start renting boats till 6. I was getting here at 4:45 when they opened the gates. And I was usually the first in line, but within minutes, there was tons of other people. It was pretty much, if you were here after, say, 5:30, you were pretty SOL. There wasn't much you could do. Hey, I people were off, and honestly, it was a lot of people who I think just wanted to rent the boats and get out on the water. To be honest with you,
The pleasure boaters.
Yeah, it was a lot of that. There was also, I did see a lot of new people fishing too, but it was insane, absolutely insane.
So what are we looking at? What are we looking at today? It looks pretty clear behind you. I got a nice view of your bottle there, and you casting. You're using a bait caster. Is that
right now? Yeah, I'm throwing a little chatterbait.
Nice.
One of the stealth ones. There's a lot of brim everywhere. You can smell them actually in the air. It smells fishy. That's the brim. So I'm just watching brim everywhere, and I wanted to work this chatterbait a little bit. I got swiped on it a couple times today. I've been getting bit on finesse. I've caught 5 fish in the limited time I've been out here. One was good. The key right now is finding the grass in like 10 to 20 feet range, and they're down in there. Every fish I caught has been, I would say, 12 to 20, and the water's real warm here, but they're coming up deep, and they're real cool to the touch. I did catch one dink in about, 8 feet. He was nice and warm, but they're biting. It's just a matter of, I don't have electronics here. I do have the Navionics app, so I use that to find my depth contour and look for grass in those range. And this place is still pretty heavily fished, so 95% of your fish are going to come on finesse presentations.
And again, you're doing the finesse down that deep, 20 feet.
Oh yeah. That grass, you'll find that grass, and you'll just pop through it with your finesse, and you'll get bit. It's just kind of tricky finding that grass and that level. So right now it looks like I'm sitting way off the shore. Let me turn this around for you. So it looks like I'm sitting way off the shore. Can you see that?
Yeah.
I'm like in 4 feet, 5 feet of water. but there's all types of. You can see this. Do you see down there that grass?
Yeah, I see a little bit of it. Yeah,
Okay.
I see on the surface there's a bit.
I just got bit. Yeah,
I was gonna say you should not pay attention for a moment, light a cigarette, or take a sip of water, or hold your phone, and you'll definitely catch a fish.
No, I just
right?
got bit 100% and wasn't paying. It was probably a little too small to get it in its mouth. With this presentation, I can say with pretty much certainty, if it gets bit and the fish didn't get the hook, it's under 10 inches. But there's little ones, they'll rip the rod out of your hand. It's the most bizarre thing. And the big ones, it's just kind of like they're there, but there's little ones will just rip it out of your hand.
And are these predominantly largemouth or smallmouth in the reservoir?
Predominantly large. There is some smallmouth in here. I've only ever caught one in my life in here years ago. They're further down where there's a little bit more rock. Unfortunately, I have to rent the boat because in these reservoirs you can only have battery powered boats, and if you own one, it can only go in one of these 3 reservoirs. So that's something I never did. So the battery, even though I get extra batteries, you don't want to get down there and have to paddle 8 million miles back.
Now, what you're witnessing here, ladies and gentlemen, is Joey's tangled up a little bit, and he's showing off his moneymaker. So take note. We won't tell you what it is.
I've ripped it out of the grass, and this is what happens. Ripped a little too hard, I'm trying to be spiffy. And,
what size weight are you using?
I think a step up above 3/8. It's a little heavier just to get it down there a little quicker. Sometimes they just want it down in front of their face quicker. Sometimes you can go small and just let it kind of get its way down there. But lately it seemed to me that they just want it down there. And as soon as it's down there, boom. I don't know, what was it? On Kiwi, I was using a lighter weight and not getting bit. And I literally jumped up 1 weight size, and that made the difference. Just that little weight size made the difference. It's weird. I guess he just wanted it. I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't getting down fast enough. Sometimes that will happen. Mm-hmm. But when I stepped up on the weight size, I just started catching them left and right. I think I caught 30 fish that day.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've noticed too, fishing, in the local river here, and even the pond or lake that I belong to, is the weight. I guess it's the presentation, right? And the way that it's making the worm sit in the water column.
With this one, it's really all it's doing is getting it down there. The speed it gets it down there. The leader, the link between your weight and the hook can come into play a lot. That can come into play. Some days I'll have it like 14 inches from the weight to the hook, and they'll be smacking it. And then the next day they might want the hook only 8 inches from the weight. And what that's doing is it's keeping it up. How high is keeping it up off the ground? Because what happens with the drop shot is the weight sits on the bottom, which keeps your bait suspended. It makes it look like a bait fish swimming anywhere from 6 to 20 inches off the bottom. It's just a real natural finesse presentation. And in my experience, if you get around the fish, it's irresistible to them.
So what we're waiting for here is, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are watching us, number one, Joe's drinking his magic drink, and
body armor every time. I'm trying to stay here. I had a good bite, but like I said, those little ones, they take it out of your hand. And,
yeah, it's funny.
It's weird how that works. Now, spots, on the other hand, spots always take it out of your hand, and they'll peck at it. They'll just keep dup, 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 like, and that will drive you crazy. And big or small, fishing for spots is something I suggest everybody do once in their life. they say those Hartwell spot are a whole another beast. I mean, those things are mean. I mean, they're mean. No joke. When I was pulling because I had a good limit for that tournament on Hartwell. When I was pulling them out of the live well and put them in our weigh bags, they were literally biting me, trying to bite me. Like, those fish are mean. No joke. You know, a 12-pound spot will fight you for 3-4 minutes. I mean, they're nuts, absolutely nuts. I've, you know, the guy I fish with some of the guys down in South Carolina say Hartwell spot are just a whole nother breed. But those things, man, like, you'll throw top water, and like, you'll throw a spook on the top water, and they'll follow it back, smacking it out of the water like they're a shark. It's like boom, boom, boom. I mean, they'll follow it all the way back to the boat, just smacking it out of the water. It can really test your patience. It's crazy how those fish are. My boater, I mean, he was throwing a topwater spook, and they were just following it back to the boat, just smacking it like I can't even explain to you. So then he went to
And we're losing Joe, ladies and gentlemen. He is live from the field, so this is not completely unusual. We'll give him a moment to reconnect, and we'll edit this portion out. This is not live, of course, so when this goes on the internet. So let's see if he rejoins us here. It looks like he's still connected, but his camera is off, and there is no audio. So we'll give him 1 second.
Sorry about that.
There he is. Is it really? Isn't it amazing to me? Well, I should say it's amazing to me that my phone overheats as much as it does, right? Like, constantly when I'm on the water.
That happened quick. I was surprised.
So how many did you catch while we were waiting for you?
None. I messed around with some perch.
All right.
There's things drive me nuts sometimes.
Good eating, though.
I guess. But see, there's another one, I think. See, that might have been a pike. I was worried I was going to catch a pike and you weren't going to be there to see my arch enemy. This place can be pikey.
I love it. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's some big ones in here. Pick roller, whatever you want to call it. I hate those things. I hate it.
Yeah, they're probably pickerel, not northern pike. But yeah, there's
To me, they're the same damn thing. And these just get gigantic. And
So-
they'll kind of bite like bait fish. They'll peck it once, and then a couple seconds later, boom, there they are. And you got a toothy critter, which I hate. I hate those things.
Oh, and they're stinky, man.
Oh yeah, they stink.
Yeah.
Them and catfish. Them and catfish are my least favorite.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I think I don't know. I haven't caught enough catfish to really say for sure, but the pickerel, man, I got one in the canoe by accident. Like, I was trying to unhook him on the side, and he started thrashing up and down and landed in the boat, slimed up the interior my canoe, we'll say. Okay. The interior of my canoe. It was disgusting. I had to bring it home and wash it out with soap.
The worst is with the catfish. You'll be throwing chatterbait, and they'll bite it just like a bass. Here you think you have like a 6-pound bass, and you get it to the boat, and you got a 30-pound cat. It happened to me last time I was up on the Upper Bay. They usually won't hit, like, bass will hit the chatterbait and like run at you. So like, you'll initially feel them bite it, and then it's like they're gone. So you got to reel like super fast to catch up with them. And that's what happened. I threw it out there, and it was doom, and I just started cranking as fast as I can, and it was still on there. And I was like, "Oh, this is definitely a bass. It's like a 5-pounder." It was a damn catfish. It took the bait and ran at me. But there's things drive me nuts. There's a whole bunch of brim right in front of me. I just can't get in there. See if I can pick a baby off. Yeah, the grass in here gets really, really thick, so you got to find a good hydrilla. But I mean, there's this one area, there's this one point where there's all this grass, and I'm just watching all this brim the bass are eating, come up and eating. But the grass is so thick in there, it's really kind of tough to fish it. I'm good at fishing that grass, but if you could see this stuff, it'll blow your mind. If you ever come down here, you'll have to fish this place. I'm like, man, because you know they're in here. You gotta find the right grass. And there's areas here where it's just so thick you can't even really take it apart. Let me get my spots so I catch a fish for you guys. Now we got a breeze going. The bite should turn on some. It's weird because it's hotter here than it was. See, there's the end of the grass line. It's hotter here than it was down south by a whole lot, man. A whole lot.
It's gonna be a hot one this week, man. It's been really hot.
Yeah, I talked to Brendan. He said it's almost like 84 down there.
Oh, I think it's gonna be like 91 up here today.
Oh, it's before this breeze kicked in, man. It was pretty stifling. What time is it? You know, it's not even that late.
Yeah. What? So while you're fishing, take me through what your setup is right now for your finesse fishing. What do you have as far as your rod, reel? What is the length?
So I'm throwing my drop shot. I throw that on a Mojo Bass St. Croix. That is medium light bass. So it's like a noodle. And I think it's only, how big is this? 6'10". So it's not very big, but I like it real sensitive, so you can feel every bite. And I fish that with a braid, the fluoro leader, so it's even more sensitive. It's near impossible to use the bites, which I absolutely love. And then another thing I'm throwing here, let me get this out. Hold on. Another thing I'm throwing on my casting rod is I'm throwing a missile based quiver worm on a Ned head, but I'm rigging it weedless, almost like a shaky head, and that's in a baby bass color, so it's a green white. It's got like a little black tail. Those missile based quiver worms are amazing, absolutely amazing. Right now I'm gonna take a ride somewhere to try to get out of this wind. Wind just picked up like a damn tornado came. And then I am throwing 2 chatterbaits. The one chatterbait is on my pal chatterbait ride, and the other one I got on the Lose rod. It's medium heavy, it's just real soft tip. And the one on the Lose rod is the Stealth chatterbait by Z-Man. So it's got like a clear blade and it's smaller. It doesn't thump as hard. Still, it's kind of hard to fish. And then I have a swim jig on a 7.4 medium heavy rod. Try to fish over the grass. And then I got a fluke on another spinning rod. But here, I mean, I'll catch them on chatterbaits, but the majority of your bites are going to be finesse here because it's hammered. This place gets really hammered. It looks perfect for topwater because of the grass. I can't tell you how many days I've thrown topwater out here and just nothing.
Yeah.
Can't even get them to look at it. For me, the summertime is the keys. Like I said, just finding there's deeper grass spots where it's a little bit sparser and the fish are going down to stay cool. The only problem is the wind here. Like, it seems like every time I come out here, the wind always whips down this reservoir. Drives me nuts. That's the one downfall, especially with these electric motors. It's kind of tough to stay in position. To be honest with you, probably easier on the canoe when it's windy like this.
I don't know about that, man. That canoe's like a wind sail sometimes.
This is not much different. I got a full horsepower, full speed. I'm pointing it straight, and I'm going like this. Like I see the grass line I want to fish, but I just can't even
You
do
can't
it.
get to it.
Like I get in position, it's like woo.
Do you have an anchor? Do they rent them with anchors?
Yeah, and that's an idea. I might do that here if I can come on the phone with you because I know there's fish right there. So let me, especially with this wind going. So I have like 3 or 4 spots I can go to here and catch good fish. I haven't got the fishes one yet. So I was fishing my first spot. And of course, I got here and the wind's going. So starting to see the grass. And it's so weird. Like off this point, I'm literally over 100 yards off this point, and there's still another big grass clump there. It's probably 200 yards off. It's easy 600 feet. I'm still in this huge grass field. This place used to be a town way back when. Way back when. It was the town of Warren. And they flooded it for, so here's a grass line ending. They flooded it way back when for the city of Baltimore. And see, here's some good grass because there's about 10 feet. You can see the good hydrilla coming up.
Yeah,
I wish I had an underwater camera and I could dive in there. Hello, everybody.
I'm loving the close up of your face, man. You're a gorgeous man.
Oh, I'm trying not to. Last time I was here, I put a rod in the water.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. You lost a rod, right?
Yeah, the rod wasn't too expensive. The expensive part that I lost was the reel.
Yeah.
The reel was a $289 reel. So that hurt. I came back for like 4 days, like searching for it, searching the shore. It fell like in 20 feet of water. So, you don't realize how fast rods sink. I mean, they just go. That was my first experience with it. Like literally, like I got, like as soon as it fell, I was down there reaching for it, and gone. All that quick. It was kind of nuts. So, but yeah, that's it. I'll get some more fish. Usually around 10:30, 11, I catch my better ones.
Okay.
And I guess I caught like about 3-pounder earlier this morning. Real pretty. Had these black spots on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say the one you sent me. The picture was gorgeous. I was shocked to get a message from you at like, I don't know, it was like 6 a.m. You're like, whatever it is you said. I was like, damn, Joe's awake already. He must be fishing.
That one was real pretty.
Can't hear you, brother.
That one was real pretty.
Yeah.
Had these weird spots. It's kind of tough to picture by yourself. It was 3.
Yeah. But Joe, we're having a hard time hearing you. I don't know if it's
I'll
yeah.
call when I get off. We'll finish this.
Yeah. Yep. We'll follow back up with Joe later, ladies and gentlemen. And Joe, tight lines, my friend, and enjoy your day.
Later, brother.
Later, brother.
Yeah, I can't believe you haven't mentioned anything in the past like 8 podcast episodes. Like, hey, what happened to your light? Yep.
Yeah, that's why.
Look at that picture. I don't look very tan though, but I am very tan.
Yeah. Well, Joe, welcome back. We lost you when you had a bit of a phone overheating issue down there on the water in the south. You did say you talked to Brennan. Brennan said it was cooler
Gorgeous.
down. Oh my God. What was the temperature?
84. And that was at 12:30.
84 in South Carolina, and in Maryland, what is the temperature? Oh, Joe's frozen. I don't know what is going on. His mouth is open here. I'm going to change the view to gallery so everyone can see. Oh, your mouth is moving, but I don't hear anything.
Oh gosh.
Hold on. There we go. Yeah, it was like
there's storms coming, dude. Yeah. So when I got off the water, which was probably around 11, it was 95 degrees with about 98% humidity. It was hot. Michael likes a kid that I'm in the South, but if you tell anybody from the South that I'm from the South, that I live in Maryland, they'll laugh at you. And then if you tell them, well, I live south of the Mason-Dixon line, they'll laugh at you again. So, but in Johns Island, where he's at, which, is, I don't know, I think Brennan said about an hour and 15-minute drive from Savannah. It was 84 and gorgeous, he said.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it is hot as heck up here today, man. So you got back out on the reservoir for the first time this season, right?
Yep.
How many fish did you end up with?
Total 5, but all honesty, I only probably honestly only fished from, let's say, 7 o'clock to 9. I was pretty much done fishing when we had our first discussion. The wind was blowing at that point, and at this reservoir, like I said before, it's electric motors only, and the rental boats they have, if you have winds over pretty much 2 knots, yeah, it's pretty much donezo. So usually the winds don't kick in there till around noon. Today was way earlier than expected. It was expected. I just didn't pay attention to the weather. Apparently, we're getting a lot of storms starting now.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to the weather. If I didn't have Donna to notify me of these things, I would. Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
That was I should have looked, because this one thing I always look before I go out there is the wind. But out 99 out of 100 days, the wind really doesn't start blowing till after 12 o'clock. So you can usually guarantee a good 5 to 6 hours of fishing before the wind starts. It just wasn't the case today.
So did you feel comfortable out there? I know, like, it's always interesting for me, at least, to get back on the water to a location I haven't been to in a while, right? With all the plethora of lakes up here in northern New Jersey, I typically try and hit the same few lakes constantly, but I have not been to my magical lake, I'll call it, the one that we went to, in quite a while, and I am kind of itching to get there and fish, but it changes so rapidly, right? The weather, the conditions, that I'm sure my first day out there, I mean, Mark Anthony was talking about this when he was on the podcast, right? About how, it comes down to time on the water, and it's the same water, and you will, like, if you're not on that body of water consistently, you kind of miss these little cues that happen. So did you feel comfortable? Did you feel like you accomplished what you wanted to practice for this weekend?
Yeah, I wish I had more time before the wind really kicked up. It's hard to explain until you go out there on one of these reservoir boats and see the amount of power these things don't have. That part of it stinks. I know that reservoir like the back of my hand, and I have my spots that I can go and catch fish and mess around and do other things. So I can pretty much always guarantee when I go out there, I will catch fish. Might not always be the big ones, but I caught some decent size today. I wanted to work with something, throwing that quiver worm some more, but with the wind, so this reservoir it heats up really quickly. Overall it's a pretty shallow body of water. So I would say the temperature from, let's say, 0 to, I don't know, say 8 feet was probably in the mid 80s. Summertime, I never fish shallow there. I'm always fishing between 10 and 20 feet, trying to find that thermocline and that cooler water. Trying to find the grass and that there's deeper areas and fishing through there. And that always pays big dividends. But again, the problem is there's a lot of grass on that lake. So when that wind starts blowing, it's pretty open too. So when the wind blows, it always comes down this one quarter, and just there's not much you do. I mean, I guess if you fork the money out and got a boat that you can only use in 3 Maryland reservoirs and it was only electric, and you put all Trex on it, you would be fine. But I don't want to do that. I'm not going to spend that type of money for a boat that I can only put in these 3 reservoirs. But like I said, usually I'm not complaining. Usually most days, if I'm out there when they open at 6 a.m. on the water first thing, I can guarantee fishing to noon before that wind really starts to give me a hassle.
That's true, and I feel like that's the case with most of the lakes that I fish as well, right? It's around lunchtime, or I should say your lunchtime. I eat early. That wind picks up and really starts to throw you around. And you were talking about it when we were there, or not when we were there, when you were there earlier, that it really just inhibits everything that you do. And the canoe, you said, might have been better, but I don't know. The canoe acts.
In my humble opinion, they would have been about the same. There wouldn't have been much difference. Going back in, so it's basically like a little Minn Kota motor on the back, and it goes 0 to 5. I had a fresh battery on there, cranked to 5, and I was barely getting back in. The wind, I mean, the boat was fighting to go against the wind. Like I said, I've just never been able to stomach buying a strictly reservoir boat for those 3 reservoirs, and they're very strict about checking that too. Some guys say, "Oh, just get one, put the plates on, take them off," but they catch guys doing that all the time. And my luck, I would be the guy they would catch. And
you just need to get yourself a pedal kayak. I think that's the
at the lakes, ponds that I help Brennan with, they have these boats down there, and they're incredible. They're smaller. They're like almost like made out of canoe material, and you sit in them, and they got really strong thrust motors back there, and 2 foot pedals in the front, like trolling motors. So
those Pelican boats I keep seeing advertised on Bass Pro Shops has.
Let me Google and see if that's what they are. These things are amazing.
And some guy was just selling one on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm looking at him like, I've never heard of anyone using one of these. I don't know.
They would have been fine out there today. Absolutely fine. No, Pelican makes a canoe. I gotta ask Brennan what the brand is. Send me pictures. Yeah, it's kind of like this bass hunter here. Let me see if I can share the screen here.
Hold on 1 second. I got you. There you go.
So it looks a lot. Trying to find the perfect picture. Hold on. Because they don't have the foot pedals in these ones. So it's kind of okay. Let me share this. Make it big. So do you see this thing here?
Yeah, that's that. So the Pelican has those.
So it looks more like. It looks like it's more like this, but it has these 2. It's nicer than this.
That's a Pelican. That's a Pelican.
It's nicer than this. It's got 1 seat, and like where you sit in the seat, and it's got rack holders on the sides. There's these 2 pedals there, and I guess the motors are underneath. Like you don't see any of the motors. You just have these pedals. And you drive it like a trolling motor, and they go. It's crazy. Let me see if I can Google Pelican boats with.
Yeah, I'm on their website now. There's
pedals.
Yeah, they have a small one for $739. It's like a John boat size almost.
Dude, Brennan got a deal through. Let me stop sharing screen. Brennan has some. They have some deals through companies. So I don't know what they pay for them, but I'll have him send some pictures up, or next time I'm down, I'll take some pictures. They're absolutely amazing, and I should have took pictures and showed the reservoir. The reservoir is owned by the city. I doubt they'll ever change. I'm sure the guys will like it a lot, but this might be. So these are cheapy. This what might be underneath. Obviously not this brand. This is a cheapy brand. I have to ask Brendan, but I'm guessing they have something underneath it, like.
Oh, cool! Yeah.
Because you don't see. Granted, these are cheapy little ones. They're amazing. It absolutely blows my mind. So you don't see like any trolling motor or anything like that. You just
Yeah.
have these two pedals in the front, like throttle pedals, and you get on there. And if you push them both forward like gas, you go super fast. If you push the right one, you turn right. You push the left one, you turn left. You can go in reverse. And last time we were out there, I mean, God, we were out there at least 6 hours and running those hard. I mean, flying around, no problem. And that maybe if they'll let me put that in there, that's something I would consider. But I think they're probably expensive, the ones they have, because I'm sure they have expensive motors underneath there because they move. And that last day I was out there with Brennan, the wind was really blowing and no issue whatsoever. It was just like having a trolling motor, and you could go really fast if you wanted. So
No, I love it. That's awesome. So, I think let's wrap up. We are going to be recording our weekly episode, hopefully at some point, maybe later, maybe tomorrow.
Do you want to ask me how I was catching them, or do you want to ask that tomorrow?
Let's ask that on the well, you said 5, and we talked a little bit about the finesse fishing you did today earlier, and we see now Mr. Young Ranger walking behind you. So yeah, let's touch base on that a little bit later. We'll talk a little bit about other stuff. So
Definitely.
brother, always a pleasure. You know that. This was a second, I believe, edition of Notes from the Field, which is good. I know we promise we'll do them all the time, but getting 2 people lined up at the same time in the middle of the day or in the morning, whenever it is we're doing things, is always incredibly difficult. I tend to fish at sunup. Joe tends to not be awake at sunup unless he's fishing at sunup.
Unless I'm fishing.
And then I'm not up at sunup, but I got up at 6:30 today. I will say that, and we were recording the first portion of this at like 7 a.m. So
yeah,
this is lunchtime, and we coordinated.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, buddy, me too. I didn't eat yet, but Joe,
oh man, usually at 10 a.m.
Yeah, well,
yeah, we got to figure out. I'll talk to Brandon about this. The thing is, I don't think this will meet the size requirement for Lock Raven. Apparently, you can get pedal drives on these.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, talk to Brennan, find out which one it is, because I think for like a small little lake, that's awesome. I don't think that we even have requirements most of these lakes. And I did find out, and maybe I'll leave this in there. I found out that Split Rock Reservoir has boat rentals.
Oh yeah.
So that's here in Jersey, and apparently you can rent boats. I don't know kind of what it includes or what goes with it, but
it's probably something like Lock Raven has, probably better. What were the name of those boats again?
Pelican, yeah.
Yeah, Lock Raven. I was just talking to the guys at the fishing store, their buddies. Boats, drive systems. There's limits on the size of the kayak you can put in there and stuff. It's got to be, I think, like over 12 feet.
Really?
Yeah.
Because most kayaks are like 10 feet. That's what you take into the ocean too.
It's. We were just talking about them. They're like how goofy it is. And so this, you wouldn't be able to do this.
Well, that
sucks because this would be so. What he has would be so.
The Pelican website has. Hold on, let me go back.
I'm trying to find the pedal drive. When you search pedal drive, it only shows like the Hobie power drive. Here's the power drive.
Yeah. So this one says it's 10 feet. This one's 12 feet.
12 feet might work. I gotta ask how much the church paid for those. And
the 12 is the least expensive, but it also doesn't. It's more, like I said, like a John boat setup.
Yeah, that's what these are like. But this drive system you have in there is amazing. It's not it.
Here you go, upgrades. Let's see what they have on upgrades here.
It literally looks like 2 pedals. You don't see any motor. Where I dropped my phone at? Maybe I have a picture of my phone. Brent has one on Instagram. It might not be Pelican though. Pelican boat replace. I drive.
I'm looking at Pelican boat competitors.
No, who did the? I've been thinking about that. If I could get that, man.
Oh, you could go out like every day.
Oh, I mean, it would be perfect. I could smash him there. That's half the problem. Because even the guys there was guys out there with their awesome reservoir boats. They were having a hell of a time. If you don't have an Ultrex, or a stronger trolling motor, electric. I guess we should put battery drive system, maybe. Power drive. Maybe that's a better word. I'll have to ask him. Oh, this is a picture of it.
Sun Dolphin 120.
His church is an awesome church, and they're taking this extremely. They realize what they have and what it could turn into. Pretty sure it's one of these. Maybe it's Bass Raider. I don't know. It looks like one of the Pelicans, but the drive thing is so awesome on it. I'll have to ask him.
Look up Sun Dolphin too. That's another brand. I'm trying to find their stuff, but this is literally like live as I'm on here.
It's just weird that his would have that human power moments in nature. Let's see. Shop online. What do you want to look at?
Carpeted casting decks, transport, aerated live well. Gee, what?
Yeah.
Sun Dolphin 120 trolling motor. The first item you need in any small boat is a blah blah blah. It has the mounting. Go with a 50-pound thrust Mini Coda C2 Endura.
It looks like they're done.
What do you mean, Sun Dolphin? Doesn't exist?
I could ask Bernard. I'm going to call him right now. I'm on the phone with you.
All right, cool.
This is driving me nuts. This is going to. This is driving me absolutely nuts. I'm going to forward you this picture. You can see the pedal drive in it, kind of, if you zoom in. Hey, I'm on the podcast. What is the name of those boats you have at the pond there with the pedal drives?
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know.
Did you buy it? Did they come with the pedal drives?
Hey, don't be showing them on my secret weapon that I just sent you a picture of. No one else. That was exclusive.
Oh, I'm not showing that to anybody. Like my cousin.
That's a damn good idea, huh?
That is a damn good idea.
That, dude.
All right, before you leave, look at the name because I'm trying to find one of those and see if I can buy one.
I already left. I'll be there tomorrow.
All right, late. All right, I just sent you a picture. Look at your phone.
All right, hold on.
Okay. Now you can't tell him our secret Yokashira head.
Well, I'm not sharing it.
I know.
But yeah, I see your pedal drive in the first.
See those
picture.
two pedals, and see he's got the. Do you see the two pedals, and then you see the fish finder on there and everything?
See, this looks like what it is I'm talking about. Although, I don't know. Hold on one second.
Let me see if I have any in my picture.
It looks like the Pro 102 Sun Dolphin.
Yeah, you think they would be showing that stupid? I don't have it.
You look at this, John Boats, man. This is crazy. I didn't know Sun Dolphin did this.
So it's under Sun Dolphin. Okay, let's go back to Sun Dolphin.
Yeah, here
Well,
you
what
go.
did you say? When did you say it looks like Sun Dolphin? What?
Sun Dolphin Pro 120. But see, he's got the trolling motor on the back.
Yeah, you don't see any motor.
But see, that's not included with this. So I'm wondering if that's like an aftermarket part.
Oh man, This is going to drive me nuts.
We'll figure it out. But we'll stop recording here. And Joe, talk to you later, brother.
Okay,
and
brother.
let's stay on. We'll continue.